Okay, ladies and gents, welcome back to another Maestro Game production. And those wondering why we're on this screen, well, there's a couple of reasons. Not only do we have some new acquisitions to welcome into the club, we also have quite a few injuries to go over. So I will be going to the tactical screen, and I didn't want to ruin the transfers. So first of all, we shall do the transfers, and then we'll have a look at the injuries before we get into the results of the games between episodes. So first of all, we shall be looking at the players going out. Nobody new from the last episode. That is a bit of good news on that front. However, we do have a few players coming in. So we have Robert Navarro. He is now our highest feed player. He comes in for 14.75 from Real San Sebastian's B team. As you can see, he is a Spanish 19-year-old, 0 caps for the main team, but he has played 6 times for the under-21s. Unfortunately, a little bit old to get the homegrown status, but he's a nice solid youngster, comes in at 2.5 star, potential 3.5, maybe 4.5 potential, and he's had a good little history. So started off at Barcelona, of course, where all good Spanish youngsters start. He then went to Monaco for a couple of seasons, then San Sebastian's main team purchased him, sent him down to the B team, had a nice 7 rating, went back into the first team, didn't do anything, back into the B team again, a couple of seasons at 7.28 and 7.36 respectively. Last season, of course, 3 goals in 20 games. So a solid, good youngster coming in as a backup for our main 2 midfielders. We then brought in a little bit of depth. So as you may have noticed with the sales over the January, we was rather short in a few positions. So a couple of loan signings. We have Emerson. Emerson, of course, from Barcelona. He has 320 caps for Brazil, 2.5 star, 3.5 star potential. Yes, he is more of a wing back than a fullback wing back as a role, but he is a solid little addition, as you can see from his history. He will be okay for a bit of depth on the right-hand side. We then brought in Diaz. Now, Diabate hasn't really been doing it this season for us. Yes, Diaz is mainly a striker, but we are going to use him as a right midfielder. He is a 2-star, 3-star potential, 23-year-old Paraguayan. He has 1 actual cap and 8 under-21 caps. In from Real Madrid, he's a decent youngster. So he's coming in for Diabate. That means Bowen is switching over to the left-hand side, and then Diabate is going to be on the bench, except for our current predicament. So if we go here, we have quite a few injuries. This will be our lineup when we line up against Burnley at Turf Moor, but we have a few injuries. So we have Emerson. He got injured in his first game, which was against Southampton in the previous match. He's currently out for a good amount of time with his sprained knee ligament. As we can see here, sprained knee ligament, 7 days to 4 weeks. We then have on top of that Al-Zabi. He got a little bit of a knock, pulled calf, 5 days to 10 days. Then we have Jared Bowen, who went and got a sprained knee ligament, 3 to 6 weeks. And then we have Navarro. Brought him in, he was already injured, has a hamstring strain, 8 days to 2 weeks. Little bit of a theme going here. And then Dragomir. Now, Dragomir's injury is terrible. As you'll see, a lower back stress fracture, 5 to 6 weeks. I didn't realise this, but apparently this is a recurring injury of his, and it doesn't say it on his injury list, which is a bit concerning, but apparently it is a recurring injury, so hopefully that doesn't happen anytime in the future. We have sent him to a specialist because he's a very key part of our squad. But let's get into the fixtures from between episodes, and they've gone rather well. So first of all, we have the game against Everton. Everton, we won 2-1 at home. So Brewster got us off to a flying start on the 58th minute, Diabate on the 62nd, and then Richarlison got Everton on the scoreboard 90+2. So yes, nice little victory against Everton. We then played against Southampton. Now, another home fixture, 1-0. Nice comfortable game. Brewster just slots away the winner, and as you can see from the match statistics, it was very much in our favour. So that leads us into today's games. We are playing, of course, Burnley and Chelsea, both away, Turf Moor, and then going to Stamford Bridge. And it's going to be an interesting one. So first of all, we have Burnley. Burnley, bottom of the league, only one win, and that was away to Watford, a 7-1 victory. So hopefully that should be a nice, comfortable win. But then we have the tricky game against Chelsea. Now, lucky for us, as you can see here, we have a game on Chelsea, and we're pretty much in no man's land. So we can't really drop out of Europe. We can't push past Man City. Very much stuck in this 5 to 7 range. But without further ado, let's head to Turf Moor. Okay, ladies and gents, as you can see, we are here at Turf Moor. But the worrying thing is, nobody is actually on the reception behind me. But without further ado, let's get into today's game. Okay, ladies and gents, we are finally ready to kick off our game here at Turf Moor. And there's no real reason for me to get into the team. I've already shown you who we are going to be lining up with. But I will make a slight note of Burnley. They are playing a 4-4-2. They're going the good old-fashioned route. And they have Nicholas Pope in goal. They have Tarkowski in defence. And Danny Welbeck, weirdly, up front. But apart from those three, I don't think they've got anyone we really need to pay any attention to. After all, we know they've won one game, and that's against 19th place at Watford, and it was a 7-1 drumming. I don't see them doing that to us today. But Carlos thinks we should tell the team we expect them to prove a point. Prove a point to Burnley that they should be down in the Championship. So I expect nothing but a win from this match to keep our form going, lads. The absence of Jared Bowen is sure to be felt. How hard will it be without his services? Well, Georgia Pope of BBC Radio Humberside, you devious young lady who we have a great respect for. Obviously, I'd rather have him available, but I believe in the team selection today. Well, I have no real choice now, do I? Are you prepared to face Burnley? Are you happy with Ryan Wills' performance as a wing-back? He's playing there at the moment, there's no reason to change. How much of a boost is Ben Gibson's absence to your chances of winning? She does realise these have only won one game this season, right? Any team would miss a player of his calibre, but we don't see it affecting the match too much, because we're going to beat them anyway. Is Ben Pearson fit enough? I've been told so. He's starting, so I hope so. I really do. If not, we can always substitute him. That's why we have a bench, after all. We can always bring on Jack Greaves. Jacob. I don't know why I want to call him Jack. But anyways, they are coming down their right-hand side, our left. Ball across to Saka. Saka plays it back to Welbeck, saved once, and he gets the rebound. Butland, maybe don't push it straight back at Welbeck when he shoots. You've gifted them an early goal, and I am not amused, Butland. Show some passion fruit, lads. 3 minutes in, and we are 1-0 down to bottom of the league. This is one of those really annoying fixtures in FM, where you usually tend to drop points for some really odd reason. But Knockaert comes inside. He's got past one. Nice ball through to Apaya. Apaya goes past one. Can he get it across to Welbeck? It is blocked. And it looks like Burnley have an early corner to go with their early lead. Burnley whip one in. Katic heads it away only as far as Apaya on the edge of the area. Plays it to Tarkowski. Knockaert to Kipri. Nice save. Oh, hit the side netting. My apologies. Kipri kicks it wide. Gaetano now with a free kick. Back post, Pavlovic. Lovely header. Brewster brings it down and gets his 38th goal of the season. Now, Brewster has played about 8 games less than he did last season. And he's already scored about, I want to say 6 or 7 more goals than last season too. He's very on fire this year. If he does not get in the World Team of the Year, I would be surprised. He did last season, of course, and then Liverpool still loaned him to us. But Vigore with a throwing to Pearson. Pearson, nice ball over the top to Gaetano. Will he get a cross in or will he go alone? He goes alone and Nicholas Pope makes the save. Butland now to Pavlovic. Pavlovic to Katic. Katic tries a ball over to Diabate. Diabate gets past one. Can he cut in and get past another? No, he plays it to Palacios. Palacios now coming at the defense. Lovely ball over to Vigore. Vigore passes it back into Pearson. Pearson ball over top to Diabate. Can he get across in for anyone in the middle? No, he plays it to Gaetano. Back to Pearson to Palacios, and it is out for a corner. Very interesting. Gaetano to take. Plays it in. Taylor heads it away. Kipri gets it away. Only as far as Diaz. Diaz collects the ball. Plays it to Gaetano. Will Gaetano get a cross in? No, he plays it short to Diabate. Diabate plays it back to Reinwald. Reinwald now up to Pearson. Pearson to Palacios. Palacios back to Pearson. Diaz now has it back to Pearson once more. Gives it away to Taylor. Taylor to Saka. Saka tries playing it back to the goalkeeper, but Brewster's intercepted it. Come on, Rian. That's his 39th goal of the season now. Can he get up to 40 before we leave Turf Moor today? As we can see here, Pearson, intercepted by Taylor, plays it to Saka, who plays an awful back pass to Pope, and Brewster's just way too quick to get on to the end of it. Apaya now to Romeu. Kipri tries to play a ball back to Pope. I don't know if he's learnt off Saka's mistake. Tarkowski, though, tries one over the top. Pavlovic heads it down to Gaetano. Gaetano tries to play one to his friend Pearson, but it's intercepted. Saka cuts inside now. Saka goes for goal, but it is wide. We have a goal kick and a lead. Very good indeed. Diaz is getting rather anxious, I believe that was popping up. But I don't see why he would be. We are 2-1 up, and it's the 33rd minute. Taylor throws it to Welbeck, back to Taylor. Romeu whips one in. Apaya. Lovely save by Jackie Butland. Finally holds onto the ball. Jack Butland throws it out as far as Pearson. Pearson is coming up to Diaz now. Diaz back to Pearson. Nice ball over the top to Brewster. Brewster 1-on-1 with Pope. Can he get a shot off? He does, and it's a nice save by Nicholas Pope. The Pope has finally come up trumps. Diabate now whips it in, back post, doesn't get to Brewster, but Gaetano will collect it on this left-hand side. Plays it to Katic, and that's the end of the highlight. That didn't really amount to much now, did it? Brewster, of course, going for his hat-trick. He doesn't look to be getting it in the first half as we go to the closing minutes of the half. Butland throws it out as far as Pearson. Pearson plays it short to Palacios. Palacios, will he play it back to Pearson? No, he tries a ball across to Diaz. Diaz now across to Pearson. Pearson, nice ball over the top to Vigore, who's made a lovely run down this right-hand side. Cut inside, and he just passed it to Pope. Pope hoofs it out. Pavlovic to Pearson. Pearson tries another ball over the top. It's headed down to Diabate. Diabate through ball to Brewster. Brewster saved by Nicholas Pope, and Taylor will collect. Plays it up to Saka now, and it's the end of the highlight. And the end of the half. Burnley 1, Hull City 2. Danny Welbeck gets on the score sheet, and Brewster gets 2. They've had 16 shots, we've had 17. They've had 6 on target, we've had 11. 11 fouls to our 4, 3 yellow cards to our 1, 46% possession to our 54. Now, Danny Welbeck is their best performer with 1 goal and a 7.2. Our best performer was Brewster, 2 goals and a 9 as a result. Struggling to perform is Mazraoui and Palacios. Mazraoui with a 6.4 and Palacios with a 6.7 respectively. But Carlos thinks we should tell the team they're expected to prove a point today. Indeed, they are. Things are going well, but you're capable of better. A couple of players are slacking a little bit. There's no one really terribly performing, but there is a few I would expect a bit more out of. The likes of Palacios. Gaetano has been dispossessed by Taylor, though. Plays it up to Saka. Saka is cutting inside. Will he get a shot away? And will Butland do anything? Butland does not need to do anything because Saka's shot goes near the corner flag. That is a very interesting attempt from Saka. But we are now up to the 55th minute and the Burnley lads are looking fired up. We are going to make an early substitution right now. Pavlovic on his yellow card. We don't particularly want to risk that, so we shall bring on Reece Burke. We then will look at the alternatives. So Pearson, lacking a bit of sharpness, possibly could take him off. We're going to give him a bit more time out on the pitch. And then we shall do a substitution or two in about 5 minutes' time. But we have Kipe, gets it over. Romeo on the attack for Burnley now. Plays it across to Knockaert. Knockaert tries a cross into Saka. Saka heads it down. Beck gets in between it though. Taylor to Romeo. Romeo has it back to Taylor. Saka now trying to come down this left-hand side for Burnley. Whips one in, and it's Knockaert. Lovely save by Jack Butland, though. Butland, will he throw it out? He does. Throws it to Pearson. Pearson tries a nice ball over the top to Brewster. Can Brewster do anything with this, though? Kipri dispossesses him, and it's back with Pope. Pope hoofs it up. Apaya in the centre circle. Can he get through the defence? Nice ball through to Welbeck, and it's a lovely save by Jack Butland. Jack Butland putting in a bit of a performance tonight. Pearson heads it away, only as far as Saka. Saka, Knockaert. Knockaert gets one in, but Romeo can't keep the header down. And with that, we shall make a substitution. So who is looking the most tired? We have Pearson, who could do with being brought off. We could take Diaz off, I suppose, and Diabate. No one is looking terribly tired. You know what? We're going to give Greaves a bit of a run out. So Greaves come on for Pearson. Do we have our Flying V? Yes, we do. So Greaves, you can go there. We're going to have you be an anchorman. We are then going... Nigeria, how do you feel being in central midfield? In fact, no, I don't want... Be a box-to-box. Oh, I'm an idiot. I am an idiot, but you already know that. So we'll swap them around. Palacios, do play and playmaker. Nigeria is our box-to-box. And we shall give those guys a run out in the Premier League. Nigeria, of course, has played a few games in this league, but we do need to get Greaves a bit of time in the league. He's very much a youngster for the future. Brewster, though, Brewster tries to score from the free kick, and Pope makes a lovely save. Greaves is actually in our plan for homegrown talent. As you may know from the European competition, we require 4 homegrown players. Now, a couple of them for the end of this season are on loan, so that's a bit of an issue. But going forward, I've already planned the 4 we will be keeping. So Jared Bowen, of course, will be our homegrown talent, providing nobody comes in and pays the $32.5 million required to take him away. But enough about that. Brewster, nice save by Nicholas Pope. It's up to Saka. Saka coming down this left-hand side. Palacios dispossesses him though. Taylor is carrying on this run down the left-hand side. Plays the ball up to Welbeck. Welbeck, lovely block. Falls to Taylor though. Gets it across to Apaya, and they've equalised. Yikes. As I was saying though, the homegrown talent is going to be Jacob Greaves. We're going to have Brandon Fleming, and we shall have Keane Lewis Porter. They will be the 4 for next season who will be taking up the homegrown spots from club. Because, as we know, it's a struggle to get Hull City homegrown players who are any good. The only one, of course, was James, and if I'm right, he still went to Tottenham, down in 16th place. But enough of that, we have a game to win. So we shall demand more from the lads. We are playing bottom of the league after all, and we want more than a draw. Although it looks like we're probably going to have to settle for a draw in today's episode. Unless, no, we can't get a late winner. So it is Burnley 2, Hull City 2. They had 35 shots at the end, so we struggled in that second half to really do much with the ball. We had 25, they had 11 on target, we had 14. 15 fouls to our 12. 3 yellow cards apiece, 47% possession to our 53. Welbeck was their best performer with 1 goal and a 7.6. For us was Brewster with 9 and 2 goals. Their struggling to perform was Mazraoui. I really said that completely different the first half. But he got a 6.7 and 0% crossing completion ratio. For us was Reece Burke. He had 2 mistakes and a 6.6 as a result. That means, unfortunately, Jack Butland did not get the Hull City record for clean sheets. But Carlos thinks we should tell them it was disappointing. It was indeed. I'm far from pleased with a draw against bottom of the league. After all, they have 8 draws and 1 win. Actually, who else have they drawn against? Weirdly, they have drawn against Chelsea, Man City and Tottenham. So I can't feel too bad, and Brighton has drawn both their games to them, and Brighton is up in 10th place. So I can't feel too bad, I suppose, but that is definitely points dropped in terms of us. We then have Brewster on form. Klopp, of course, has come to watch him. So as I was mentioning about Brewster, as you'll see here, played 8 less games, scored 10 more goals. He does have 2 less assists, but he has 2 more player of the matches, and is a whole 0.5-ish better than last season. So I don't know what Klopp's thinking, but he should probably keep hold of Brewster next season, rather than sending him on loan to us. But I'm happy for him to keep sending him if he really doesn't want to keep his best striker. But anyways, I'll see you fine folks at Stamford Bridge in just a second. Okay, ladies and gents, so before we head to Stamford Bridge, it looks like we've got the Euro Cup second knockout round draw. So let's go view that. As you can see, there is 16 teams left in the draw. So there is CSK Moscow, we have Dynamo Zagreb, we have Anderlecht, Braga, Sparta Moscow, Atlanta, Feyenoord, Tel Aviv, us, Standard Liège, we have Legia, we have Shiva, I'm not even going to try and say the rest of that, Partizan Belgrade, we have Werder Bremen, I don't know why I was struggling with Werder Bremen, and Estoril, as well as Dijon the Mustard Land. So without further ado, let's see who we get. So CSKA Moscow shall play Dijon Mustard. We then have Legia against Standard Liège. Partizan will play the Israeli team I'm not going to attempt to pronounce again. We have Werder Bremen, who shall play Tel Aviv. We are going to play Dynamo Zagreb. So Croatia shall be the lovely destination we head to. That is the draw. We shall first be playing home, I assume? Yes. The first game will be the home fixture. So the fixtures have been rearranged, of course. The Tottenham game has been moved, and so has Bournemouth. That means our fixtures are going to change a little bit for the next episode. So let's have a little look at the games we have coming up. We have 3 home ties, so Tottenham, Watford and Dynamo. We then have the Tottenham game in the league, Dynamo in the league, and then Bournemouth. So I want to do a double header of away games, so it's going to be 2 of these 3. Now, do we let Bournemouth out or Tottenham? Now, have we played Tottenham or Bournemouth in a game prior to this? That is the question. I can't remember us playing either of them in terms of a video. So what I will do is I will give us the bigger game. We shall play Tottenham and Dynamo in the next episode. I will drop the Bournemouth game. I might do Bournemouth-Liverpool as a separate episode. I'm not 100% on that one quite yet, but we will figure that one out going forward. But the next episode is definitely going to be Tottenham away and then Dynamo away. So I'm definitely looking forward to that one. I don't know about you folks, but without further ado, let's go to Stamford Bridge. Okay, ladies and gents, welcome to Stamford Bridge, and possibly the shortest journey we've had, not only from our hotel to our restaurant, but from our hotel and restaurant to the stadium. So as you can see behind me, there is the hotel we have been staying in, and the lovely Marco Pierre White's restaurant alongside it. Now, if we head between the two, we then have the entrance to the shed end, and that, of course, if we just move up slightly, is where the away supporters will be entering. We shall then be heading just past that, which will show you the east stand reception, where we shall be entering the stadium. So without further ado, I will see you fine folks in the stadium in just a second. Okay, ladies and gents, it is time, of course, for our second game of today's episode. We are here inside Stamford Bridge, looking to get our first win against Chelsea of the entire series. They've beat us 3 times and we've drawn twice. And the team looking to do that is Butland in goal. We have Reinwald, Katic, Pavlovic and Vigore at the back. Palacios and Pearson in central midfield. Diabate on the left, Diaz on the right, Gaetano in central attacking mid, and of course Brewster up front. Our bench consists of Pereira, Burke, Guimarães, Greaves, Mahi, Ageria, and Ellis. Of all players, they of course have many deadly players, and we are not going to get into them. There's a certain one I'm seeing right now with the number 10, who was having a bit of a back and forth with Brewster last time we played each other. So, Carlos thinks we should tell the team they're expected to prove a point. Not quite sure what point they're expected to prove, considering half our starters are injured. But we've got nothing to lose here. We know how good we are. Let's show everyone what we're capable of. Brewster liked that one, Diabate loved it, and so did Pavlovic. So, Jamie Goodwin of Sky Sports News, the enthusiastic fellow who we have a great respect for, says Tammy Abraham comes into this match in great goal-scoring form. Do you have any plans to stop him? He's a fine player, but I have fine players too. Jorginho has proven himself to be an incisive passer in the Premier League. How do you plan to stop him? Again, good player, we have good players too. Hopefully our good players are going to be better on the day. Of course, if we don't lose today's game, we will hold 5th place. So hopefully we can manage that at least. And that's not a good sign. Kai is off to an early start. Vitz with his 9th goal of the season, assisted by Pulisic 11 minutes in. I would argue that Tammy Abraham might have got a touch on that, and that he should probably get the assist. But our team is already looking anxious and frustrated. Never a good sign. And I'm going to tell them to show some passion. So that's probably going to annoy them a little bit more. And it has. We have Reinwald very frustrated, and a few anxious faces alongside him. But we are half an hour in, and we are 1-0 down. Wagyu plays it back to Rudiger. Rudiger tries a ball cross-field. It's intercepted by Diaz. Can Diaz get a nice through ball? No, but Jorginho does play it back to Rudiger. Wagyu back to Rudiger once more to Wagyu. Wagyu gets it up to Abraham. Abraham plays it down. And it is Chelsea down this right-hand side, still with Tammy Abraham. Whips one in and, Reinwald does get it away. And eventually we have a Chelsea corner. This is looking worrying. At least keep the damage down a little bit, lads. We don't want to come away from this with a 4-0 loss or a 5. Just keep yourself in the fight. We are, of course, only 4 points away from dropping out of the European spots, with chasing Everton looking up at us. We also have Bournemouth, who aren't a long way away as well. Pearson, lovely ball over top to Brewster though. Can Brewster get us an equaliser? Lovely save by Kepa. And Chelsea maintain their lead. Azpilicueta to Pulisic. Pulisic holds the ball, plays it to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta cuts inside past one. Jorginho. Jorginho, nice ball over to the right hand side. Wagyu, will he whip one in? No, he plays it short. And Kai makes a lovely shot. Tipped over by Butland though. Pulisic with the corner once more, whips one in, Diabate gets it away, Jorginho to Pulisic though, gets it back into the box, Palacios heads it away, and Chelsea maintain possession. Luckily, it is the end of that highlight. And with that, Chelsea go in 1-0 into half-time. 16 shots to our 2, 7 on target to our 1, 8 fouls to our 8, 1 yellow card to our 3, 57% possession to our 43. Kai has been their best performer with 1 goal and a 7.1. Weirdly for us, our best performer has been Butland, 6.8 and 4 saves held. Weirdly is actually holding some saves as well. Struggling to perform is Jorginho with 6.5 and Gaetano with a 6.4, and no reason for either of them. Latest scores, Brighton is 1-0 up against Bournemouth. We have Leicester 0-0 against Fulham. Liverpool 0, Norwich 0, Watford 0, West Brom 1, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Everton 1 going into half-time. Carlos Figs. We can't really do much but sympathise with the boys after that. Looking at some of those ratings, I'm going to do more than sympathise. I'm going to tell them to show me something else in the second half, because that was rather pathetic. I do not accept 6.4s and 6.5s, regardless of who we are playing. If you put in the effort and we lose, fair enough. But we are losing because our players aren't putting in the effort. Vigore tries to get to Gaetano, back to Vigore, Pearson to Vigore once more, to Pearson once more. Lovely ball over top, Brewster one-on-one with Kepa, and Kepa holds the shot. Yes, he holds the save too, but he also holds the shot. And it is approaching our substitution time, folks. We have a lot of frustrated players, and that is probably where we're going to start with the subs. In that midfielder striker area, where everyone seems to be rather frustrated. Abraham heads it over the bar. And that is a lovely time for us to get some of these frustrated players off. So Pearson's frustrated, Palacios is frustrated. Let's get the carded players off. Diaz, Palacios and Diabate. I know Diabate is composed and not frustrated, but he's definitely not performing in the manner we expect. Although we don't really have the substitutes to do it. Unless I use Elias and swap Mahi to the other side. That's an intriguing issue to have. Also, if we need to bring on a central midfielder, it's going to have to be Ageria or Greaves. You know what? Ageria, come on for Palacios. You can then go to... Yeah, we'll leave you as a box-to-box. You don't mind doing that too much. We then bring on Ageria for Diabate. Diabate... Ellis can go to that side. Mahi can go to there. We shall make Mahi an inside forward. And hopefully that adjustment will be enough to at least tie the game up. We shall ask the lads to demand a bit more. They seem pressured, anxious, furious. We're getting a very mixed response. Some are focused and calm, some are furious and anxious. Very interesting indeed. You know what? Push forward, lads. I've not used that one yet. And it didn't go down very well. Great. My calls are not going down very well with the lads today. And we are approaching added time. Gaetano kicks it away. Ellis, this is probably going to be our only attempt to get back into this. Brewster, one-on-one with Kepa. Come on, Brewster, please. Oh. He's just played it straight into Kepa's hands. Vigore, though. Vigore with a throwing. We have 30 seconds to do something with this. Pearson has kicked out the player and got it back. Pavlovic to Katic. Katic, we are in a bit of a hurry, my friend. Plays it across to Mahi. Mahi gets down this left-hand side. Will he get a good cross in, though? Wagyu dispossesses him, but we do have a throwing with 6 seconds remaining. We are now past the allotted time. Reinwald throws it to Gaetano. Gaetano, can he get the ball in? Mahi, get a nice cross in, please. Ellis, no. It's kicked away. Ageria, oh, come on. My friends, why? It is Chelsea 1, Hull City 0 at full time. Now, we was rather pathetic in that game. To be honest, 28 shots to our 6, 10 on target to our 4, 14 fouls to our 15, 4 yellow cards to 3, 55% possession to 45. At least we beat them on fouls. We got an extra foul in there. Their best player was Pulisic. He had 10 crosses complete and an 8.7 as a result. Our best performer was Pavlovic, 80% passing completion ratio and a 7.2 as a result. Struggling to perform was Jorginho, 6.6, and Brewster with a 6.3. He had 5 passes completed. We have 3 milestones. Tammy Abraham got his 200th career league appearance. Ryan Weld made his 25th league appearance for Hull. And Mahi made his 225th career appearance. The player of the match, of course, went to Pulisic with his 8.7 and 1 assist. Carlos thinks we should tell the boys their efforts were excellent. Carlos, I don't think you was watching the same game as the rest of us, because that was not excellent. If we just look down here for a second, we have Gaetano on a 6.4 and a 6.5. We have Brewster on a 6.5 and then a 6.3. 6.6 for Mahi. 6.5, 6.7. Like, our defence was okay, considering they conceded, but the rest, not so much. We were the underdogs, you gave your best. No, I'm far from pleased what I saw. I don't care that Pearson is demoralised. I'm going to give him the same treatment as the rest of them. It was quite frankly not good enough. Lucky for us though, Brighton did beat Bournemouth. That means Bournemouth pressuring us down in 8th have been relieved a little bit. We still have a 3-point gap on them, a 2-point gap on Norwich, who did actually squeeze a win out against Liverpool, surprisingly. And Manchester United now have a game and 3 points on Liverpool. So as a Manchester United fan, I am very happy about that one. Chelsea dominate game. I think that's a little bit over the top. Bit melodramatic, much like myself. But, like I said, we will be coming back for Tottenham and Dynamo. So I will be playing the Tottenham, Watford and the other Dynamo game in between this and the next episode. If we have an FA Cup game, I might squeeze that in with another one of them 3 fixtures. But if it falls a bit later, then it'll probably come in a later episode, depending on who we're playing and what other games are around that time. But I thank you all for watching today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your week, and I hope you all have a good night. Goodbye.